How do I use comparative adjectives correctly? Imagine you're trying to describe two cars, two houses, or even two meals. How do you show which one is bigger, faster, or more delicious? That's where comparative adjectives come into play. They help you compare two things by showing that one has more or less of a certain quality than the other. For example, if you say, "This book is more interesting than that one," the word "more interesting" is a comparative adjective because it compares the interest level of two books. To use these adjectives properly, you need to understand how to form them. For short adjectives like tall, fast, or small, you add the suffix "er" at the end. So tall becomes taller, fast turns into faster, and small becomes smaller. If the adjective ends in the letter Y, change the Y to I and then add "er." For example, happy becomes happier and funny becomes funnier. Longer adjectives, usually those with two or more syllables, are a bit different. Instead of adding "er," you use the words more or less before the adjective. For example, beautiful becomes more beautiful, and expensive turns into less expensive. Some adjectives are irregular, meaning they don't follow these rules. For example, good becomes better, and bad becomes worse. When you put a comparative adjective into a sentence, the structure is usually subject plus verb plus comparative adjective plus than plus the other thing. For example, my house is bigger than yours, or this movie is more exciting than the last one. Sometimes, if the comparison is clear, you can leave out the second object. For example, this chair is more comfortable implies it is more comfortable than other chairs. Remember, comparative adjectives are only used when comparing exactly two things. If you are talking about three or more, you need to use superlative adjectives like biggest or most interesting. Also, placement matters. You can put the comparative before a noun like a smarter student, or after a linking verb like she is smarter than her brother. You can compare different qualities on the same scale too. For instance, the blue house is wider than the green house is tall, compares width and height, which are different qualities but on the same measurement scale. Some practical examples include, my sister is smarter than me. This dress is more fashionable than that one. He is better at chess than I am. Or, the weather today is colder than yesterday. Knowing where these adjectives come from helps too. They are based on the positive form of the adjective, which is the simplest version. You change the form to compare two things by adding "er," more, or less, depending on the adjective. Using comparative adjectives correctly makes your descriptions clearer. It helps you explain how two things differ in qualities like size, speed, or appearance. This skill is a key part of expressing yourself clearly and accurately in everyday conversations.